It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from the Brooklyn Cafe studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought and take a front row seat at the Brooklyn Cafe and get ready to enjoy some humor and hot topics. It's time to get a healthy serving of hope and happiness to help your day go by with a smile. Your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S., are ready to talk about food, health, dating, or just plain dream making. If you have a story to share, or a movie review, restaurant critique, or just a coincidental thing that happened to you, call in free 888-994-4995 right now. Sit back and enjoy your lunch break at the Brooklyn Cafe. Here are your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S.
And welcome to the Brooklyn Cafe on a Hotsy Totsy Tuesday.
It's Wednesday, but that's a good try.
That's why it's Hotsy Totsy, because it passed. It really is Wednesday?
It's a wonderful Wednesday. It absolutely is. All day, hence my wand, which I have every day. So yes, welcome to a wonderful Wednesday at the Brooklyn Cafe Show.
Today really is Wednesday.
It really is Wednesday.
I got a Sarah Spiritual today.
Yes, you do.
Holy smokes, I am totally in the dark.
Yes, you do. Here, we kind of are really in the dark. Just fixing
We
the
are
light
not.
here
Look
in
at
the
all
studio.
the art behind us. We got Amy's stuff going on.
It's beautiful. Happy Wednesday to you. What a busy morning. I stepped out for a moment, and you, I know you're looking. I'm all good. Stepped out for a moment to have the vampire suck my blood 5 vials later. And you, in the meantime, wrote a jingle.
I didn't write a jingle. We had music therapy with Lenny and Slick. Do you know when they say off the dome what that means?
Never even heard that.
That's a slang thing that he's right off the top, off the cuff. He put a jingle. We all
Who did it?
contributed.
You and Slick?
Me, Slick, Vinny, and Lenny.
Very nice.
The girls don't participate.
The
They
girls have their
ignore
own thing
us.
going on in there.
They ignore us. You know, I feel you really ignored today.
The girls,
They're in there. They're all ha ha ha.
they're all laughing, I know. How'd the
They're all
jingle come
having-
out?
We need somebody to sing it because we stink when it
Do
comes
you
to
have a
singing.
melody that goes with it? Do you have chords and you just have words?
He started us off with songs of, what is it?
That was with some Sound of Music, Do Re Mi. We're just messing around with the chords of that.
We're messing around with it.
Huh?
Melody, but
Do, re, mi?
we had like a little something. If it's recorded, so we can look back and try to.
We got to
Take
figure
that
out a
little piece
melody
out.
to the song. And the way Slick sings it, it needs a lot of work.
Slick's funny.
But we got some words down, and it's kind of cool.
Very nice. For the cafe, I like the words. Slick goes 1, 2, 3, and then something here is 4 and 5. I'm like, okay. You added
Because
your
we were
little-
giving him pieces, and he was putting it together.
You added your little something in there, I see.
I added a little something,
Glad to see that.
and everybody, Vinny added a little something too. But you know, you remember when the Chicago Bears won the Super Bowl and they had the
Bears,
the
yeah.
Bears shuffle, the shuffle. You
The
remember
Icky
that?
Shuffle.
Icky shuffle.
They have it for other teams too. Did something similar to that. I think the Redskins might have done it. Oh, not the Redskins anymore. They're called the Washington Football Team. But in the past, they did like a shuffle when they won the Super Bowl one year.
I saw that.
Some of that?
Yes, a lot of different teams
A
came
dance.
up with that.
You gonna do a shuffle?
We're gonna do.
You're gonna
we're
actually
gonna do the cafe
that?
shuffle.
Oh, come on, Val and Teddy. I can't wait. Freddie's gonna do the shuffle.
It's not only Freddie. It's gonna be Freddie and
And the guys are doing a
and
shuffle?
the guys. We're doing the cafe shuffle.
Are they all wearing a hat? It's like a whole like guy
We don't
thing?
know what we're gonna be wearing. We may be wearing New York stuff like
I'm kind of
gangster
feeling
colors.
there's like a guy-girl thing going on here.
Did you notice all the girls ignored us today? They're locked up in their tomb in there.
Oh, I didn't
It
realize
was
it, but
just
you have a point.
us, right? We even had Pierre Bourgeois over there. He was on the set here.
Pierre Fritz, yes?
The Fritz,
Yes.
the Fritzer.
Fritzberg.
Yeah, the Fritzberg. I can't remember that.
You've got an interesting name, by the way. Pierre Fritzberg, but yet you're half Puerto Rican, Haitian, and where does Fritzberg come from?
Pittsburgh.
My dad's side, my grandfather escaped the Nazis during World War II.
Really?
I was going to say that's a Jewish last name, but your dad's Haitian and your mom's Puerto Rican, right? So you are like so multi-ethnic.
You're like, you know what? Your new name is gonna be.
Isn't that pretty cool?
You're the UN. That's
So
your new name,
Your grandfather
UN.
escaped Nazi
Okay.
Germany and went to Haiti? Why Haiti? Did you ever ask him?
I actually don't know why it was
Are you a man of peace?
You should take a mic. Isn't
Yeah,
that
it would be
interesting?
us-
Because you don't know anyone's name when we bring them in.
I don't even know his name.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Fritzberg.
But I remember talking, I think, to Teddy or Val about it. I'm like, what an interesting combination of names.
I didn't think it was.
I do because I think it's interesting. Did you ever ask your dad what your grandfather went from Germany to Haiti?
I actually don't know that part.
Ask.
Do you
I
have
think it's
brothers
an
and
interesting
sisters?
story.
Yeah, I have an older
What's your brother's name?
My brother, his name is Liati.
Liati Fritz.
No,
Fritzberg.
his last name is Ellie. He is my brother, but different from dad.
So it's Liati.
Ellie.
Ellie.
E-L-I.
Holy smoke!
Is
What's
he
your
Jewish?
sister?
No.
What's your sister's name?
My sister, my oldest one is Amanda, and the second one is Alex.
Your sister's name is Alex,
Their last name is Fritzberg.
and you're Pierre.
Fritzberg.
No way in the world. It ain't happening. I'm going to call him UN.
But isn't so
peace.
interesting? Because I
What's
knew
up?
Fritzberg's a Jewish descendant last name. I don't know if you practice Judaism, but his grandfather came from Germany and went to Haiti. Like that's a migration that I've never heard, which is really interesting.
Well, during World War II, the Jews to escape World
I know
War
a
II,
lot went to Spain.
they
a lot
went to
to
South
Israel.
America.
They
There are
went
more Goldbergs in South
to
America
Cuba.
than anywhere in the world because I had a professor that proved that to me. I don't know if it's true or not.
Isn't that interesting? It's like behind the scenes with our crew.
This guy is so behind, there's nothing but behind here.
Really interesting.
So, are you a man of peace? We got to come up with a peaceful name for you. Are you a man of
You
peace?
can just call him Peace.
I'm thinking about it.
Peaceful.
World peace.
Peace.
World Peace.
No, that was taken already. The basketball player did that.
World Peace or Peace?
That was his name, World
Pray
Peace.
for peace.
Oh, really? Oh.
That's
is-
the piece we got out there. I wanted to put that piece up there today.
Yeah,
as a matter
you
of
wanted
fact.
a lot of stuff, but we were in the midst of stuff. We're writing jingles here.
Watching all the kids behind the scenes. It's fun.
It's very cool, yes. And you guys are working hard. You helped me with my homework when I came back in.
Yes, we did. We wanted you to get an A.
So I got to turn that in. I got to upload that.
You have to edit that, you know,
Why?
because there's no edit on it.
It's going raw just like that.
Really?
Yep.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
because no one else has production companies to edit. So we're going to go raw and real.
Well, we'll edit it for you.
It's all good.
Okay.
But it's really exciting news. Being
It is.
interviewed on CBS Sunday morning.
I know, that's
Are we going to
amazing.
release that, by the way?
Sure, Tom.
So we're going to be interviewed on CBS Sunday morning. I just got the news. I'm so excited.
Really?
With
gonna be
who?
talking
What's her
about-
name? Anna Polly?
Jane Pauley. We're
Jane
talking
Pauley.
about manifestations and magic and stepping into your power and empowerment and all the things we talk about. And that is my favorite show. The only show I really watch on TV ever on Sunday
Sunday
mornings. Everyone
morning.
leaves me alone. It's that Sunday morning show. So to get a call from them, unbelievable.
I know you would think that.
I'm so excited.
Do you know what today's going to air on?
Sunday.
It's on. It's going to be
Not
live.
this Sunday. We don't know.
Oh, you don't know.
They tape it and then they air it whenever.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's
We'll let you
amazing.
know
though.
the
That's
exact
amazing.
day of airing, but it's very exciting.
That,
so thank you for helping
is
me with that.
that is if we make the cut. You know, just
Yeah.
because you get interviewed doesn't mean you make the cut.
Yeah.
But after you and me, why wouldn't they? Who else sits with a top hat and a magic
Close
wand?
that
Is all
door.
I can say. Nobody.
Nobody with a top hat.
You got to well, a fedora.
I'm thinking when we do the cafe shuffle, maybe we do it in top hat
That's what I'm thinking.
and mobster style, like Gotti.
I don't know, but you got a hat and Vinny's got a hat. You have Juliana on the line. All right.
Who?
Juliana.
Who's on the line?
Juliana.
Who? Who?
Juliana.
Juliana.
With float
You know,
to
I gotta
swim.
make fun of you because you guys all went away when we were out here trying to.
You know what Val's
Coopulate.
like? Val's like FOMO. You hear her? Fear of missing out. Val, you hear her laughing, and you see her all, and everyone watches. Go, "What's she
Val,
doing
you
that
just
I'm
got
not
your
doing?
new
Why is she
name,
so
you're
happy?"
FOMO.
You're FOMO. People watch Val, and it's like, what's she doing right that I'm not doing? You just look at her and you go, wow, she's got it all together.
No, I know Val as huh?
She
Huh?
did that to you too.
Huh? She always does that to me.
But we've got a great guest joining us, and I love what she does, especially in summer in South Florida, float to swim. And this is a connection through Fuego, through Claudia. She was interviewed yesterday on Fuego. And it's about teaching your kids how to swim. And we're gonna learn about it because I think, based on her name, float, number 2, swim. You teach your kids to float first so they can flip. So if they fall in the water, they're actually floating. So we're going to bring Juliana over, and maybe Claudia can join us because we've got her on the line. How are you doing? Let's just turn up her speaker, guys. Check her audio.
Is that a cactus?
We don't
She
have
hears
her
you.
audio.
We can't hear her. Hold on 1 second. We got to hear you. What?
Okay.
Try again. She says, "There you are.
Am I?
Yes.
Hi.
How you doing?"
I'm doing great. Thank you for the invitation.
Are you in Arizona?
No, I'm in hot Florida.
Where'd you get the cactus?
It's a fake one. My sister-in-law put it there.
It's a fake one. You're not supposed to say that. You're supposed to say, yes, I water it every month.
No, you have to make everything pretty.
Oh, it's a pretty cactus.
It is.
You want a pretty background.
You have a very pretty background. You're in Florida. Tell us about Float to Swim.
Okay, so Flow to Swim, it's my company. I'm a certified ISR instructor. What I teach is I teach kids how to self-rescue. We start as young as 6 months of age, all the way to 99. Specialty, it's until like teenagers. And what I do is I teach babies and kids how to self-rescue in case they go in the water and they cannot reach an edge or nobody's around, so they will turn on their back and float independently. Those are for babies, for infants, and for older kids, for toddlers, older than 18 months, they can learn how to swim. And my sequence is swim, float, swim. That's why it's float, swim. Because we start in a float when you're a baby, and you transition to a swim within weeks.
At what
It all
age can
depends
they start?
on the age.
What age can the kids start to learn to float safely?
6 months.
Wow.
6 months?
Yeah. 6
I
months.
can't even swim now.
Can you float?
Oh,
You hold your
come on, I
breath,
can
everything
teach you.
floats.
But you know what? At 6 months, she was telling us in Fuego that the children need to be able to sit. When they're able to sit, and then they can take the classes.
And this picture behind it, I see you're wearing masks, so every time you're working with the kids, you have to wear masks now because it's a different situation.
It is. It
So-
is. And
so-
it was very difficult to start again due to this COVID situation. But due to the quarantine, many drownings began to happen in March.
Really?
So our statistics went up, and as soon as we had the okay to go back, I opened my pool and I went to my clients' homes. Always wearing a mask, always sanitizing, keeping distance. Lessons are always one-on-one. So it's just, COVID is here, but drownings happen anytime to anyone. So my goal is to prevent drowning, and that's what I'm doing.
Where are you located?
Right now, well, I used to live in Boca, but I just moved to Vero Beach. So I will be teaching in Vero Beach starting August 10th.
So everything's going to be moving that way. And you go to individual homes.
Yes, that's true. And I also have a host school that I have in Vero, so I also am going to be having my lessons there as well.
Where is Vero?
It's north. It's about an hour north of us.
I see.
That's
Now,
that's Treasure Coast.
It's where the Indians have the oranges, right?
No.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. They have Indian oranges.
Are you leaving? You on a lunch? Okay.
Now, I wanted to ask, how do you introduce, like I have 2 grandkids now. I got 3 grandkids. One of them was just born. How do you introduce children to water when they're definitely afraid of it?
Well, first of all, no child is afraid of anything because fear is a learned behavior. So if you always tell your grandkids, just be careful, water is dangerous, it's good for them to be aware of the dangers of the water and the risk. But soft introduction, so like the first day that you come to me, it's funny because the kids are more relaxed than the parents. So each lesson is only 10 minutes. I show them what to do. Like they start on their back if they're only 6 months. They start on their back because that's the first position that I want to introduce. They have to be horizontal in the water. You don't want to see a vertical posture in the water because that's called drowning position. They start laying down on the water. I have very light touch, and they breathe. When they find out that it's okay and it actually feels good on their body, they become more comfortable in the water and with me. So the good thing about the lessons is that the lessons are 5 days a week for 10 minutes each lesson.
That's it?
So kids that's it. It's like when you start training to run. You don't want to run for 2.5 hours the first day. You want to run for 2 minutes and then try again the next day.
Gotta
I
learn
mean,
to float. 10 minutes a day.
Do you know how to swim?
Yes.
Do you guys know how to swim?
I do. I did a certification for lifeguard because my daughters are in Girl Scouts, so I have to take that certification. But when we were talking with Juliana, sometimes people that know how to swim, they can drown because depending on the situation, you can try to save someone or someone that know how to swim. They have a complication, so they can drown. So you have to be watching. It's not easy, but I think that what she teaches is just so important that we teach or take our kids to people like her to do this, to learn this, because we never know. Kids, they want to be everywhere. And more if somebody have a pool or you visiting someone and your kid just run away when you were talking, she can tell us how many seconds a kid can drown and jump in a pool.
And it's
give
not
us
just the
recommendations.
pool, it's the bathtub, it's your bucket of water when you wash the floors. It's anything that a kid can get into that you don't realize. How many times you leave your kid in the bath, you go to answer the phone, all these things.
Well, we talked about, we had somebody who does what you did, and her son had clothes on, and he fell into
The intercoastal.
the intercoastal, and because of the clothes, he could not get out, and he drowned.
Yeah.
And so she dedicated her life
Well,
to that.
That's Jake Morrison. That's from
Yeah.
Live Like Jake you're talking about, right?
Yes.
And she was on the show,
I
and we
work
talked to her.
with I think her scholarship all the time.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So not only because he was dressed, because he took some swimming lessons, but he didn't know how to self-rescue. So it is very important for you to know how to roll back on your back and float and yell for help or cry or something. Anyone can come and rescue you if you cannot reach an edge. What if you go in the water and the pool is 8 feet deep and you have no idea how to swim and you didn't know it was 8 feet deep, and then you start panicking and you cannot reach the edge? Well, within 30 seconds you can drown. Anyone, not only kids and babies, anyone can drown within 30 seconds. So it is very important for you and your body and your brain to know what to do in those circumstances.
What's the difference between self-rescue and swimming?
Well, swimming is when you have movement in the water. Okay, you don't need to do freestyle and butterfly, and you don't have to do that. Actually, when you're 5, you actually are able to do it well. Self-rescue is to know what to do in case you're face down in the water, and this method is to roll back and float. Then when you're 2 or 18 months, kids will know actually where they are in the pool, and they flip over to see where they are, and they start swimming until they reach the edge. They know what to do. They've been trained for that. They've been in lessons, 30 lessons. That's only 6 weeks, and they know what to do. So it is that's the difference. The difference is when you have an emergency situation, you must know what to do in order to self-rescue.
It's so interesting. When my kids were younger, they would have never recommended 6 months for swimming or self-rescue. It was always once they could swim, which you're saying is about 18 months to 2 years old. Now, especially in Florida, it's totally different. Everyone that we've had on, we've had Pool Savers, we've had you, we've had Live Like Jake, we had other swimming companies, and they all say, because I remember talking to you about this with your first 2 grandsons, now you got 3. about you have to get them acclimated to water as soon as possible because you never know. I mean, do you have a pool fence around your pool at your house?
Well, I was just going to touch on that. The problem is when they come see Grandpa or Pop-Up, whatever you want to call me, I always keep an eye on the pool. Children are the fastest things in the world. And you may think that your door is open this wide, and they fit like a roach. They go right through, right to the pool, all the time. And people make fun of me because they go, oh, you exaggerate. No, I'm not exaggerating. I need to know where he is because I have a pool.
Yep.
And I don't have a fence. I do not have a fence. And you have to keep your eye on your kid. I even told Freddie, I'm going to put an elastic band on Rowan because he runs all over the place now. And I need to know where he is at all times. Oh, you're exaggerating. Okay, let me exaggerate because once you lose him, you ain't getting him back.
You have chimes on your door. I mean, now all the protocols have changed. If you ever put a pool in your house now, everything has to be wired. There has to be alarms on your doors, the fence, water flotation. I mean, there has to be, it's not just one. You need layers of security because
Layers of protection.
God forbid you ever lose a child in the blink of an eye. It's just,
Well, and I also told my son, now that you have boys, you have kids, and Gio, you better learn first aid. You better learn it, CPR. You better learn CPR. And they said, why? I said, why? Because you never know when that instant will occur, and you got to think. Panic will drown you before you drown. Unfortunately, that's the deal. The other thing I'm really impressed with, tú eres Latina.
Sí, colombiana.
Colombiana. And among the Hispanic culture, we think we know it all. We think we are invincible. I walk on water. Hey, bring my 6-month out to the pool. He walks on water. It's just a mindset. We don't understand the danger of what that body of water, the destruction it can create on a child's life in 2.3 seconds. And that you're Latina, I applaud because you are the voice to reach those that don't speak English and still have children. You got to get it together. And we're not very good at getting it together. As you can tell, as anybody can tell, we ain't very good at getting it together, if you know what I'm saying.
I didn't even think that the incidence of drownings went up when everyone started quarantining. But things you don't realize is that pebble, right? It's that ripple. Kids are home more. Parents are home more. You're sitting outside more because you can get out of your house and you can go sit outside. You can't go to public pools. One of my neighbors, I remember years and years ago, lost a child. He's a doctor and she's in the medical field, and new baby, it just split second.
That's all it takes.
Right? So it's not even a level of education, it's not income, it's not anything. These are children that they don't know. It takes just a second.
It's just, you just take your eye off of it and you're done.
How long have you been doing this?
4 years.
How did you get into this field?
My daughter. I became a mom in 2013. So I always had, my daughter needs to learn how to swim. And in that period where I was doing my research, something happened to a boy in Coral Springs. His name is James. And he drowned. He survived, but he has brain damage due to the drowning. So I said, I don't want my daughter just to swim and have fun in the pool. I want her, she needs to know what to do in case I'm not there. Like, my brother fell in the pool when he was 3, and thank God there were a lot of people in the hotel and they got him. He's fine, nothing happened to him, but it happened in seconds. So I did the ISR research, and everybody's like, oh my God, you're gonna traumatize your daughter. You can just put a puddle jumper on her and some floaties, she'll be fine. Well, no. So I watched the lessons, and I fell in love. She enrolled, she screamed. My dad told me that I was a horrible mom because my daughter was crying. 4 weeks into the program, she knew what to do in the water, and everybody was like, wow, that's awesome. I loved that, but I didn't make my decision to become an instructor yet. Then my second daughter got here in 2015. I enrolled her in lessons, and I was like, you know what? I think this is my call. I want to help people, and nobody pays attention to drowning. So why not? I was selling life insurance and being in the insurance field for so many years that I was like, you know what? This is it. I did it. I was going to Vero, but now I stayed in Boca, specialized swim and wellness. And then it's 350 students later. This is what drives me. This is my passion. I don't want to hear anybody having this horrible accident that their kid fell in the water and drowned. This morning only, there's 2 drownings, one in Pensacola and the other one in Kentucky, on the news. So, and what you said about the Latino community, we think that having our kids in a puddle jumper, it's good enough. And then the summer's here and everybody has pool parties, but none of the kids know how to swim.
Yeah.
So you have 7 kids in puddle jumpers running around and the parents taking pictures on the phone. It takes seconds, and what you said is true. We need layers of protection. We need alarms. We need locks. We need a pool fence, even though it doesn't look great on your pool. We need a pool fence. We need to know CPR, and definitely we need self-rescue lessons. There's so much that gets me every time I hear a friend or someone that becomes a friend that they lost their kid due to drowning, or their child never recovered from the drowning and now they need 24/7 assistance because something happened. A lot of people don't know ISR exists. So my number one priority is to share with everyone that this happened. Buddy Miller, the famous Olympic, lost his child 2-3 years ago now from a drowning, and he became a drowning advocate, his wife, and ISR. So thanks to them and social media and everything, the word is getting to many people, but there's still so much to do. There's so many parents and so many families that don't know about the program, don't know what to do about swimming and water safety. That is, I like that you watch your kids when they come and to visit pop-up, because it can happen within seconds.
Pop-up, you may want
Happens
to
in
think about
seconds.
putting a fence around that pool. You got 3 now.
Well, we're talking about it. The other thing, my sister does not know how to swim. Mimi does not know
Neither
how to
does my
swim.
mother.
And I took my sister, we went canoeing in Whitewater Rapid. It was the first time. I did not know how rough this water was in canoes. So it was me and Juji, and my sister went in a different boat, right? And I'll never forget the day that I saw her canoe going down without her. And Mimi was face down in the water. Now, I had all my cousins with me. There was about 20 of us. And everybody jumped in to get Mimi out because she did not know how to swim and she didn't have a life jacket on. I did not know this. My sister must have been 18, 19 years of age, or 20, whatever.
Oh, wow.
And she did not know how to swim, and she was crying, she was angry, she was hitting me and hugging me at the same time because we got her out. I tied myself to my sister for the rest of that trip. And I promised myself that would never happen again on my watch. So you know what? Terrorize people. It's okay. Terrorize them. Because the bottom line is you're going to save their life because they're going to learn not to be terrorized. That's really what it comes down to. We had somebody else who said she felt bad because people were making fun of her. You know what, honey, you leave that at the door because if you save that kid of mine, I don't care how you do it. Terrorize them, learn how to swim. You're in Florida. In New York, you get away with it because the winter comes. You ain't going to jump in an igloo.
Yeah, but you've got the beach. There's so many bodies of water. In New York, too, there's the shore. People go on vacations. You go to the Hamptons. I mean, there's water everywhere.
But you got to go to the beach. In Florida, there is a pool every other house.
Every house is a pool. It's
And the friend's house always. And you know what they say? When there's a pool and there's a party, there's a drinking. Huh?
Yep.
You go to the beach and there's the water and there's more drinking. And you forget about the kids. I don't want to hear it, oh, I'm the greatest parent. That's BS. I ain't buying it no more. I told my sons this. I told them the same thing. I'm not buying it anymore. I'm not buying that I can trust you. You know what? It takes 30 seconds.
They got to get the boys.
You got to get it done.
How do people find you, Juliana?
Well, infantswim.com instructor. You can enter the zip code and one instructor will come up. But you can follow me on Float to Swim, www.float2swim with the number 2.com. Facebook and Instagram, I'm very active as well with Float to Swim. And I'm always there. I don't care if you come to me or not. If you need knowledge and you need water prevention, I'm here. So it is very important that we're spreading the word. And I thank you so much for this opportunity to reach more people.
Thank you
Because
so much.
we need it.
Thank
Very
you.
cool.
Stay safe. Stay in touch with us.
Thank you so much. I will.
Lady with the cactus.
Let's go to commercial break. It's so important.
Before we go to commercial break, we're going to hand it off to Lenny,
Okay.
who has a message. ISO on Lenny, please. Eventually. Maybe.
You guys have
Hello.
Lenny on the white camera?
Maybe not.
You had me before.
You had it before. All right.
Hello.
Let's take down to the lower third.
Here at the Brooklyn Cafe TV show, if you happen to be a restaurant, a bar, a liquor store out there in South Florida, we have a special promotion for you. We can do advertising, free advertising, a 30-second commercial if you purchase some Gubba rum. I'm talking about Wicked Smooth Gubba rum. Silver, we got Gubba rum silver, which is infused with coconut rum, with shredded organic coconut. And we have Gubba gold infused natural vanilla rum. Now, if you call us at 888-994-4995, we will give you this promotion where we can, if you purchase with this rum and try this rum out, we will give you a 30-second commercial, which you can be seen all across South Florida on radio stations and on this stations, many other stations. Please call our number. We will tell you more about it. 888-994-4995. Thank you very much. Gubba rum.
Welcome to your vacation staycation. And what better way to kick back than to blend up a sweet pina colada, a smooth mojito, or just a nice stiff rum and coke. If you want true relaxation and enjoyment, then you want Gubba rum. Gubba rum is a unique rum infusion. Gubba Silver Rum is infused with real shredded coconut, and Gubba Rum Gold is infused with real shredded vanilla bean. Both are made with certified organic ingredients. Each infused Gubba rum is 35% ABV, 70 proof, and as we say in Boston, wicked smooth. So if you're looking for the best combination of taste, smoothness, quality, and price, your clear choice is Gubba rum. If you want that wicked smooth taste for yourself or your vacation staycation, visit GubbaRum.com to find your closest liquor store that carries Gubba Rum Gold and Gubba Rum Silver. Gubba Rum, it's wicked smooth.
Introducing Black Tie Liquors, your one-stop shop for wine and spirit needs. Whether you're looking for an ice-cold pack of summer brews or just to grab your favorite bottle of scotch, whiskey, Black Tie Liquors has you covered. Come choose from a wide selection of beers, wines, spirits, or liqueurs. Or if you're in the mood, feel free to grab one of our fresh cigars. Stop by Black Tie Liquors today, located on 5970 South Jog Road, Lake Worth, Florida. Or give them a call at 561-968-0988.
Admirers, connoisseurs, and enthusiasts of the art world, witness a visual spectacle like no other. Come visit the Gallery at the Theater, one of South Florida's best-kept secrets. Located in the heart of Boca Raton, the gallery features a diverse catalog of sculptures and paintings by world-renowned artists. But that's not all. All of the art is showcased in a live studio setting, home to South Florida's very own Brooklyn Cafe show, starring Dawn and Freddie S. And to top it all off, our collection includes signed memorabilia from some of the world's most iconic names in sports and entertainment history. So come on over, enjoy a cup of coffee, and experience the magic of the Gallery at the Theater. Located at 2400 Northwest Boca Raton Boulevard in Suite 13. Or Give us a call at 888-994-4995.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
And we're back.
And we are back at the Brooklyn Cafe Show. I think it's so important, you know, working with my dad. My dad is a pediatrician. Always it was safety first and swimming. And I remember my kids getting swimming lessons. Chelsea hated it, and Erin screamed more than she did.
You swim?
I know how to swim. I can't tell you I'm a good swimmer. You know what I can't do, which I'm always so FOMO of? I'm always so jealous of people that can beautifully dive.
No, I don't do that either.
I can swim, I can save my life, I can float, but I cannot dive. When I dive, it's like a elephant, hippo, like boom, flat. But there are people, and they just dive, and they're beautiful and graceful. And I got to tell you, it's just not my thing.
Have you ever climbed up a ladder? It's like 20 stories, and you got to go to the platform and jump off. You ever done that? You ever done it? You ever did it? You ever did that?
No.
I will never forget. I went to Roberto Clemente State Park in the Bronx.
I thought you had a fear of heights.
Check this out. So there was some chicarinas, and I wanted to be impressive.
Mm-hmm.
And I get up this thing, right? And I go up there, and I'm being all macho. And as I'm getting closer to the top, I'm looking down, and the ground is getting further and further. So I'm like, man, do I want to do this? So I get up there, I go to the edge, and I turn around. Now, there is only one way up, right? Only one way up the ladder. This is a ladder. This is not a ramp. Only one way up. There is no way down. And they kept telling me, you're going to have to go because there's no way to come down. So you know what I did? I came down the ladder on one leg, holding on to dear life of the pole, and I was sliding down on one leg. And everybody was cursing at me.
You're making my hands already ache and get sweaty.
And
I'm feeling your pain.
There were no chicaritas waiting for me. They all laughed. They all called me. Oh my God! Nobody wanted to be around me. That was the last time I went to Roberto Clemente State Park. I never went back to the pool.
When you get scared of heights, you feel it in your hands. Like I feel my hands, my feet could get tingling. Like, oh my gosh.
Your hands. I got other places to tingle.
I don't have those other places.
No, that's another place. I mean, you pucker up and go.
Somehow, if you haven't noticed, you and I got different places that tingle. Just saying.
I'm not even talking about that place. I gotta tell you, I looked down. I says, "You got to be an idiot to be up here."
I always admire people that can dive, and they can dive gracefully, and it's an amazing sport, and it's so beautiful, and they flip, and these athletes, and not me.
You ever seen the guys in the world record holder? They go up 100 feet, and they do a somersault, and they land in a pool this big. You can't even see the pool at the bottom. All you see is clouds.
I gotta tell you, but when you dive and you jump, you gotta be so careful that pool really has water in it. You laugh, but people who drink too much and they dive
and there's no water in the pool?
You know what happens?
Who do you hang out with?
I don't hang out with them, but
there's no water in the pool.
You know what happens when you do that? You get paralyzed and you die.
What does Confucius say? You go to sleep with itchy
finger, I know.
Right? You got itchy butt, you're going to wake up with smelly finger. How are you going to dive into a pool with no water?
People do not smart things. That's all I can say.
Hey, Slick, have you ever attempted to dive into a pool with no water?
Thank goodness no. But there are people that do silly things, and under quarantine, I've seen kids jumping off bridges into the lake. Talk about social distancing, not even a thing. We got to bring our guests over, though.
Are the guests on?
Yeah.
They are?
I know.
So this is it.
Let's bring Natalia and Tatiana over. Slick, come over here because, Slick, you produced their show. You and Teddy produced Business Kitchen Show with Natalia Levy and Tatiana Fernandez. This show, hi ladies, how are you?
Hey. Hello.
You guys are absolutely spectacular. Your show I talk about all the time because you took BYOB and in a month's time, you spun it off into your own Business Kitchen Show.
Yes. Hello. Hi, Tatiana. We're calling in from different places. We've been calling in remote. All of our guests have been remote, And thank you, Dawn and Freddie, so much for this opportunity to give voice to the businesses. And so many businesses right now need help, and our guests have been absolutely spectacular, sharing so many phenomenal strategies.
Tatiana, tell us the concept behind Business Kitchen Show.
So with Business Kitchen Show, we are giving advice to small to medium businesses on just how to get them more customers, how to get them, more marketing ideas, just basically giving them ideas on how to show the world what they do.
And I have to say, your first show on radio last week, you had a guest from Malta. And I would bet in all your years of doing this, have you ever had a guest from Malta?
No.
He was in a panic.
We had to look up. I had to look up where Malta was, and when I saw where it was, I really panicked.
He panicked because not only is Natalia in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, Malta is, a whole nother country there, and you're close by. In your connection, we even lost you. So we had backup on backup. We had backup at the radio station. It was a hurricane storm, so we had a second backup. We had recordings. We were like, we just had to make sure something got out. You guys did an amazing job.
Thank you.
And
thank
his
you so much.
information
Yeah,
that you share, incredible.
Well, you all are amazing producers, and you make it so easy. And thank you to Slick and everybody else who is there, who have been working with us and putting out backgrounds and sending us the videos and helping us with. We are launching our website this week, and we'll launch our YouTube channel. And as always, their conversations get very interesting on our Facebook page after the show.
What are some of the conversations? What's some of the feedback you're getting?
So the feedback has been tremendous. What I get is because the guests that we have, they are sharing so much of the saucy stuff. It's a lot of behind the scenes stuff. It's the things that the advice, the strategies that the business owners can implement immediately right now. Like right after the show, they go and they can take 1, 2, 3 takeaways from the episode, no matter which business it is. They find so much value from each episode and from each guest that we interview.
And what I really love about your show is your guests are incredibly successful. You are both incredibly successful businesswomen, but you're relatable. When we talked about the emails, and then I sent you our MailChimp, and I went, oh my gosh, she's going to take one look at our MailChimp. And you know what she did? Natalia says, we need to have a little talk about your MailChimp. Because as great and colorful as it is, it goes against everything he talked about last week as far as emails goes.
Oh, no. And again, email advertising is an art. It's like anything else. But there isn't any gamut that we haven't tried. Now we are doing cross-promotion with Latino cultures. We're talking to Slick about doing a Haitian piece. We do Spanish pieces. We're trying to make businesses talk to one another that wouldn't talk to one another at all. Gubba Rum has nothing to do with anybody, and they're coming onto the scene because we want people to be encouraged to continue and fight to stay alive, to continue to be out in front, to continue to be leaders in the community. And I applaud you ladies for doing this. Nothing stops Lady Ann. I mean, she's doing it from a boat, and she looks like $1 million. The bottom line here is that you can do what you want to do if you put your mind and you do it.
But we don't know a whole lot about Tatiana. Tell us a little bit about you and your background.
So I am originally from Miami. I spent most of my time as a business development manager. I was working for a Fortune 500 company, doing that for about 7 years. And I just became really passionate about helping businesses find what makes them unique and how to share their message with the world, because I was doing that for one company in one industry, and I really wanted to expand that. So then, broaden my horizons and started doing my own thing to just help other people out there, learn tips and tricks and talk to each other on how to make things happen.
Has your business model changed? Well, obviously it must have changed. How has it changed during what we're going through right now for the businessman, in your words?
Personally, I think it's making business owners more open to listening and talking to each other, because at least for me, when I walk into a business, I knock on the door, I ask for the business owner. When have you ever heard that the business owner just walks right out and wants to talk to you about what they're doing and how you can help? So it's been really easy for me to go in and give advice, genuinely just give advice to want to help, especially now with the pandemic, because everyone is all ears.
That's interesting because it's really funny. On the show, we bring in, I don't know, 100 different ideas to give people something that maybe they can clap into. Yesterday we had promo stuff for you, which are small gadgets that you could still promote your business, not spending a lot of money because we know right now money is tight. We get it. We understand that. But it's interesting because, number one, you're a female. You were in Miami. But, you know, I'm listening because a lot of male owners of businesses, they hand it off. They don't talk and listen to the options. And I'm telling you this from a male's perspective. It's 100% true. We don't. And here you go, and you're going to say, listen, I may have some ideas that may help you. You're right. You're going to have to start using more of this and less of this to get things done. So I applaud that. But today is like a whole different...
We're leveling it up. It's all because of Natalia. She is pushing me, all for the good, to get out of my comfort zone on many levels that we've talked about. But beyond this course that we're taking together, we talk at night, and it's, you know, you should be doing this and you should be doing that, and have you considered doing this, and all these things that I went to bed at midnight last night because I was reading a book that we're interviewing this author.
I went to bed at 2.
You went to bed at 2, right? I should have been talking to you, and I felt bad I couldn't even talk to you, but we were both working. But it's getting out of your comfort zone, and the things that you and I know that we should be doing, but we don't, because because all these other things come up and you just don't do the things that you know you need to do for business. But it takes an accountability buddy or a partner or someone on the outside looking in that has your best interest to say, you know what, you should really consider doing this, not do it this way, but consider doing this, and let's take a look at it and change it. This week you've seen things totally change here as far as guests and shows, and the kids are on point with their lower thirds, because it's not, you know, some people can grow their business right now. Other businesses are trying to sustain business. Is there a difference in this business model, ladies?
Yes, there is a difference. So there are massive industries, the whole industries that are getting essentially wiped out. You know, we're looking at the tourism industry, restaurant industry, bar industry has been really struggling. Bars, and I personally, we have 2 family restaurants that are working on, and I think that the key here is to look at, be just like Tatiana was saying, is to be open to looking at your business through fresh eyes, reevaluate, and Tatiana and I, we did an episode on that. Look at what is working, what is not working. Look at your finances. Where can you cut things? Where can you get more creative? Which team members that you can bring on, or which team members have the skills that you didn't even know that they do. I know during the pandemic we were closed for several weeks, and we were very fortunate to get the PPP money. And what we have done is did a survey of our teams. Like, you guys, I know that we all work together in restaurants, but what other skills do you have? And I tell you what, we were blown away by all the different skills, by the creativity. You guys know that we created one video that went totally viral on YouTube with over 100,000 views. It's just really starting to think more outside of your business, and collaborate, reach out to other businesses. Freddie, I remember when you first gave me an idea of what are we going to talk about, and I remember what you said, like, if you're a business, go to all the other businesses on the same street, maybe rent the same space if you need to have smaller space. There's so many creative ideas, and we're here to listen and help everybody and source all of these ideas from each other, because the best ideas sometimes just come through conversations.
True that.
Are you finding that businesses are more collaborative or more competitive now?
Collaborative, I think.
That's nice.
Tatiana, you've had a bunch of experiences with that right now. You're bringing so many people together.
Yeah, I'm contacting different businesses just to see how I can help and, take a look at their website or their social media and just kind of give advice to see how they can, get their customers back in the door. And they're telling me that they're talking to each other. I heard that this business did a short promotional video to put on their social media or to run ads. So do you know anyone? Or they're giving me advice that other people have given them and asking for some kind of connection. So definitely within themselves, they're going to each other just to ask for different tips and tricks.
I think the connections are really important. I was speaking to a woman last night from this group, Lady N, and she's looking to create an LGBT community center in her hometown. And she's looking for funding and a huge amount of information she has. So I connected her with Joyce. I put them on a text at about 9 o'clock last night. And she says, Joyce, when can we speak? Is now too late. And Joyce says to her, it is never too late. So they may have been on the phone all night for all I know. But it's about making those connections, and it's not competition. It's how can we help the next person create their dreams.
It's not about what you know, but who you know.
That's true.
You're right.
It's funny because I didn't even know you ladies were coming on today, but I spent 2 hours this morning going over a company that does commercials on television. And I finally came to an agreement with them where we are going to be able to offer commercials on TV. Now, we're an in-house production company, so I don't need anybody to do it for us. We're going to do it in-house. But one of the ideas that I came up with is, instead of shrinking and getting smaller, I want to use the same dollar and make it bigger. And television is always number one if you can get there. We used to do this before. We used to do Comcast and everything like that before. I found out that because of what's happening right now, they have changed their pricing structure. It no longer is $2,800, $1,400. No longer they do it that way. They do it by the reach, the number of houses you want. You could do something as small as $100.
Really?
It depends on what you want to do. And of course, I had to put in my 2 cents of cleverness because we have so many. I mean, think about it. Our coverage base goes all over Florida. So if you're going to go to Tampa, you got to go and check out that restaurant. There's 2 to pick from. And you're moving around to do it. They are so excited about doing it. They're going to send us a rep next week to talk to us. But we are trying to make the same finances you got going, just get the word out there because people have to know who you are and what you do.
Who's your guest on Business Kitchen tomorrow?
Tatiana? She just had a conversation with Natia.
It is Natia. And she is, I don't want to spoil anything, but she helps businesses come up with different challenges to help bring engagement within their customers.
I love that. That is the name of the game right there. I got to tune into that. That's right up my alley.
It's going to be, this is going to be incredible because as we all facing challenges, this is going to be a different spin on the word challenge and how can we use the challenges, which is a mostly, in online digital media word, but how can we utilize creating challenges for any business to drive more, bring in more customers, to get people more engaged and ultimately create that connection and revenue.
I love that.
It's the revenue part because we can connect all day long. But how do you create the revenue and monetize it that's fair? Because maybe your price points have to change. In the restaurant, have you changed any of your pricing and food options because of this?
We did a full menu evaluation and we have created certain options that are definitely a lot more affordable. We have meal kits that people can cook at home, and we have a huge amount of family meals, and we created a whole new lunch menu as well, and we did a survey with our audience. And Tatiana was just at Speaks yesterday, right?
I sure was.
So we definitely are listening. We're listening to what people want.
How did you come up with the name for Speaks?
Speaks Clam Bar. So it's a take on the speakeasy feel. While we're a New York style clam bar, we also created this unique prohibition style theme. So speaks is short from speakeasy. And we hope that the food speaks to everybody and the vibe speaks to everybody as well.
You know,
They have
you're,
one, I think, near Geo.
you know what?
They have one in Bradenton.
Yes,
Is that where
Gio says he's
Gio's
taking
been
this
there.
on.
Has
Yes.
he?
Yes, he has, and he speaks highly of it. But I asked him to come on the air. Gio's kind of strange. I don't know. My son is really mental sometimes. I don't know. I mean, the way he does things is just really out of the box. Now, we run your commercial with the little gadget that flies. What is that?
The drone.
The drone. I laugh
drone,
so hard. I still laugh when I see that bad boy. It is the funniest thing I have ever seen. And man, he drives a point home about the delivery at the end, the way you ended the whole thing. And you know, sometimes you can have a great idea, and you put two people together, and the two of them can't even start a conversation. And the two of them individually together formulate a fantastic idea. And that's the part that people need a little help with, because they're not used to doing that. They're used to doing it all by themselves. We had a guy today at we have the official Brooklyn Cafe deli.
Yes.
What's the name of the deli?
Jacobs.
Jacobs in Boynton. And this guy, he worked for the owner 33 years. And the owner now sold it to him. He started washing the floors. And now he owns the deli. So we're going to do a deal with him. It's going to be our deli. We're going to go see him, put a camera in the place. I just want to go the hell all to it, because you know what? The guy comes from Mexico. Guatemala, but he had to go through Mexico. And he came up here and he got the business. And the bottom line is, you know what? I got to tip my hat, because the man, he believes in it. You know, he has a heart and he's doing it. And I want to do anything I can to help him, no matter what it is. And again, a tribute to what you ladies are saying.
Yeah, you ladies, your show is relatable. You've taken the idea and you've run with it. Like, I have never seen anyone run with the show and slip. A tribute to you for producing it so incredibly well. You and Vinny have really put it together. Teddy now runs it on radio. We're going to teach Slick that tomorrow.
They're doing jingles, Lady N. We started doing jingles. We are going to be offering jingles to all of our shows, because a jingle, it sells your business before you walk in the room.
So let me ask you,
It sure does. Yeah.
What is your number one business tip?
Oh, my number one business tip. What can I say? I would have to say social media, because every time that I think of something I want to do or somewhere I want to go, I always look online, and not every business shows up online when you look them up. So it's really important to make sure that you have your social media presence available so that people know who you are, what you do, and you'd be surprised when you hear of all the businesses that do not stay on top of their social media.
It's true. Natalia?
I would say to connect from the heart. You know, people don't buy, there's a famous quote, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. So talk about the why, talk about why the products that you sell matter. What do they solve? What issues do they solve? It's about creating that super authentic connection to the heart.
And you are always spectacular. So I sit here with my tea, and I've got my soup in the refrigerator.
Yes.
No, wait a minute. We got to talk. She's been on this tea. She's like oh my God. Everybody says, what is she on? I don't know.
Throat coat tea. It's the best.
She's like on a different planet now.
Thank Lady N. Between my throat coat tea, my soup, and my new homework, I'm keeping you all very busy, aren't I?
We have to keep an eye on her, because she leaves a cup of coffee there. She's walking over there. There's stuff over there. Funniest thing I've ever seen.
You ladies are amazing. Thank you so much for joining us. More to come.
Thank you guys
We
so much.
love you guys. Thanks to the whole team.
Love you
Nice
too. I'll
job.
see you tomorrow morning. Tune in tomorrow, 11 a.m. on WWNN iHeartRadio app and the Business Kitchen Show on Facebook and YouTube for Tatiana and Natalia. Great job they do.
They do a fantastic job.
So
Fantastic.
we're going to send the new elements over to the radio station. I just need their outro,
Okay.
and we keep going. We're going to go to commercial break. You ready?
Yes, let's do
My tea's
that.
all running empty down
I'm
there.
going to get me another cup of coffee.
Stay tuned. When we come back, we've got Frank Ryder joining us. Can't Get No Satisfaction. This book is spectacular. A Quest for Racial Equality in Northern Florida in 1965. And in my world, I always think I'm going to read this and there's going to be a happy ending. Not so much. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Let's all welcome a new sponsor to the show. It's AMP2 TV, the first and only internet production company that's truly plugged in. When you're looking for a full-service internet TV radio production company, discover AMP2 TV, a full-service production company that can provide all streaming videos in studio or remotely. They offer web page development, and they use all the latest platforms to help make all your business selling points more powerful. They can do remotes or live radio streaming as well as tape productions for social media platforms and television. AMP2 TV can handle all of your television needs, including closed caption for a perfect on-air telecast. Choose from a variety of creative TV and radio packages or visit one of their many studios to get your creative juices flowing. Come and see why AMP2 TV works with many major companies, including Comcast, Bravo, and Fox 29, as well as individuals and businesses of all types and sizes. To see samples of their work or to find out more, visit their website at amp2.tv. That's A-M-P, the number 2.tv, or call them at 866-224-5422. Feel free to call for a quote or just a consult of how to put your business on a social media platform or radio platform, or just doing a show that is covered by all platforms. Call 866-224-5422 and make an appointment. That's 866-224-5422.
Healing Moments Wellness Boutique specializes in integrating scientific and ancient therapies to relieve physical, emotional, and psychological distress. Through the power of touch, coaching, and meditation, clients experience pain relief, relaxation, healing, and detoxification. Contact Healing Moments Wellness Boutique at 561-931-2187 and experience Boca Raton's Healing Haven. Enjoy the benefits of an individualized treatment plan to help find your feelings of peace, complete balance, and wellness. Call Healing Moments today, 561-931-2187, and be rejuvenated.
Dutch Designs and Events is a unique business providing an extensive range of beautiful floral arrangements. They have the power to bring your event or special occasion to life. Dutch Designs are available for any event or to open your business with a smile. All flowers are grown with organic compounds that enhance their fragrance and beauty. Call Dutch Designs at 561-419-8126 or visit their website at DutchDesignsEventPlanning.com. Call Dutch Designs at 561-419-8126.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
It's me. Surprise.
And we are back at the Brooklyn Cafe Show. We had a little switch. Your Freddie's hair got really long. You got very beautiful, Freddie.
I like my scenes. Yes, we're switching things up because I think it's time we start switching up. Did you hear what Lady N said? Time to be out of your comfort zone.
That's what we're doing every day. You see what's happening the rest of this week. It's like we're going.
That's right. Now, the ladies have to remember, Freddie used to run board. So, Val, be very careful because Freddie may throw you off that board and put you on the set because I can run a board. I still remember.
You still remember how to do that?
Of course.
We had Natalia Levy and Tatiana Fernandez. Our Business Kitchen Show joined us on our last segment. Don't forget, tune in tomorrow at 11 a.m. on Business Kitchen Show on their Facebook and YouTube page. You can also listen to them on WWNN Radio at 11 a.m., 95.3, 96.9, 103.9 FM and 1470 AM. And, of course, everywhere else on your iHeartRadio app at 1470 WNN. That is tomorrow. And now we're rolling right into what kept me up for my nighttime reading. After I did my schoolwork last night and my homework, talked to Lady Ann, I then sat down at about 10 o'clock to read this book. We've got Franklin Ryder joining us for a VMix call. I think he's on the line. Frank's over there. This book I read, Can't Get No Satisfaction, A Quest for Racial Equality in Northern Florida in 1965. How you doing, Frank?
Very well. How are you doing?
We're great. Thank you for dropping this off yesterday. And my son says to me, Mom, why are you starting this the day before the interview? And I said, 'cause I got the book the day before the interview. But I'm interested, A Quest for Racial Equality in Northern Florida. You use equality, the way you phrased it, you didn't even state that there was inequality. You're just looking for the equality in it.
Yeah, well, of course, yeah. You're looking for equality because you didn't have it in Northern Florida or anywhere in the 60s.
And you're an attorney, NYU Law School, Freddie. But yet
Correct.
you took a different path.
Sorry?
You took a different path. You didn't go the traditional route. Was it
I
because
sure
of
did.
everything you saw in this?
No. I just decided that the law wasn't for me. Not from this, but from, I went into the Peace Corps after law school, having taken my my bar exams. And in the Peace Corps, I just was excited about business because I helped start a fishing co-op and in Brazil, and that was really exciting for me. And I had some advisors who were successful lawyers, international lawyers, who told me that if they could over, they'd be bankers. So I ended up joining a bank, and they, as I spoke to the Portuguese, they sent me back after training me. They sent me back to Rio de Janeiro to work.
And fill everyone in, because Freddie always hates it when I take the books home because he doesn't get a chance to read them before the interviews. I'm going to let you
This
take
one was
this one
okay
home.
because you got it the day before.
But I'm going to let you take this one home. You talk about, you give a lot of history on what it was like in Northern Florida, and then your internship. So give us some information about the book.
Okay, so I trace the history of slavery in the United States very briefly, but with a lot of really important points. For instance, Thomas Jefferson's Monticello is considered one of the great architectural creations of the early 1800s. And he did not have the money to pay for it himself. He had to borrow money, and they were banks in the colonial times and in the early United States. And they lent to him, but they wanted guarantees. And Thomas Jefferson gave 150 slaves mortgaged in order to finance the construction of Monticello. And I find that shocking, to say the least. What we don't realize is that plantations were big businesses. They were the fundamental part of the economy of the United States. And they had accountants. All the slaves were registered as assets. The value of the slaves in the United States in 1860 was 7 times, listen to this, 7 times more than the total amount of currency in the United States. The value of slaves was 7 times more than the total amount of currency in the country. Unbelievable. And cotton was the fundamental part of the economy, accounting for over 60% of industrial production, actually total production, not just industrial. and it accounted for 65% in 1860 of the country's exports, most of which went to England. And the economy of England was fundamentally based on the use of raw cotton for industrial production, clothes, various other products. And then it was consumed in England and exported all over Europe. All of this on the backs of slaves. It's pretty impressive.
It was big business, and after the Civil War, there was legislation that was passed, and you go in, and it's funny because you look at this book and you go, not a very long book, I should be able to get through it, but you've taken out all the fluff, and you've packed it with details and organizations and Martin Luther King and all of these things that are in here, and the civil rights and schools in northern Florida. I mean, things you never thought about, separate but equal. We look at now and you think, all right, so separate but equal, but it wasn't quite what it says.
Right, it was separate. That was the part that was true. Equal wasn't true. And my shock began when I took a bus from Atlanta to Tallahassee, and at the bus stops, when you got out, you had colored and white bathrooms. And I had to make a choice right there. That having never seen it before, never thought about it before, and I went in what was called the colored bathroom. And numerous times there were guys waiting for me outside who were calling me names and making threats. They never did anything, but it was scary. And so every time I went to the bathroom, it was a statement on racism. It's unusual. Also, if you were with a black person in public, you could be walking down the street and you could be shot. You could be beaten up. It was a revolutionary thing for a black and a white person to be walking in the street. Obviously, you weren't sitting in a restaurant together because it was all segregated. One of the things that's in my book is we were based in Tallahassee, which is the home of Florida State University and Florida A&M University. Florida A&M being black and FSU being totally white, except for one black undergraduate. That black undergraduate could not go anywhere but the class, couldn't even use the bathroom. If you didn't have black and white bathrooms in FSU, since it was all white. Anyway, we decided we were going to go have lunch one Saturday in the student union, and my fellow intern, Ira Simmons, he brought along two very attractive black friends of his, and we went in, we sat down and ordered a hamburger and a Coke in the student union, and within 10 minutes, it was packed with people wanting to kill us, and Ira decided it was time to leave. I stayed to pay the bill, and on my way out, I was verbally attacked, but I wasn't physically attacked. And I was told not to ever do that again if I wanted to live. And there were numerous, that was one of my first ones, and there were numerous other incidents like that. And we had, one of the, I don't know if you read, I took you read the chapter that took place in Mariana where a black man was accused of rape. And he was going to lose his job if convicted, and I was sent there to deal with the case, and we were able to unravel it, and he saved his job. It was a total farce. There was no rape. He didn't even talk to the women, much less touch the women.
And here's what I find so interesting, Frank. You, in New York, you choose to do this internship after first year of law school. Now, my son just finished finished law school. I don't think he would, and he did all his internships here in Florida. What took you from in the mid 60s to go from New York, from a nice life, right, a comfortable, socioeconomically pleasing life in New York, to come to Tallahassee in the middle of law school to face all of this?
Well, I since college, I became a social activist, and I had a lot of friends who went south to work in civil rights in college, which I didn't do for a variety of reasons, and I felt very badly. In 1964, two white Jewish boys from Brooklyn went to Philadelphia, Mississippi, and along with a black civil rights leader were murdered. Actually, it was their first day in Mississippi, and they were murdered. And that plus John Lewis, his activities, I felt that I had to participate.
It's interesting. I was reading this book last night, and I think of our crew, and I was thinking of you. I was thinking of Teddy, because Teddy is so proactive and so amazingly gung-ho as a woman. And then I'm thinking about Slick and what your take would be on it from college. I mean, Florida A&M is a black university, but FSU, they were considered integrated because they had one black
Right.
It's interesting you point that out, because I'm sitting here and I'm telling myself, during the 60s, there was all of that going on.
That was within our lifetime.
Yes, and before that, it was getting hot and heavy. But I think everything has changed today.
Has it?
I think that it has changed with a different. I don't know. I was going to ask it, because one of the reasons I got Teddy up there, and I got Slick here next to me, is because the demographic right now, the millennials, I don't know how you guys would receive this information. What would you do with it? Is it news to you? Have you studied it in school? Does it make a difference in the tomorrow?
One, I can't speak on the FSU. I just want to say I took the shag from someone else. I'm not an FSU alum, so I can't talk about that.
Pretty timely of you, right?
Yeah, I didn't realize that. I stole a shag from one of my friends. But I did go to USF, and I was lucky enough while I was there to be in a sorority that had a lot of relationships with the multicultural sororities, and in that we got to learn a lot about the sororities' histories and why they came about and how they had come about, because whatever university that sorority started at, it was a very similar situation usually, as they had very few black students and they had to come together to form, at that time, sometimes co-ed, sometimes not, fraternities, so they could protect each other and heal with each other. And it really does make you think about, and again, I was very fortunate to have the connections with these people. It makes you see different things on campus and different things in society today that, I mean, unfortunately, yeah, it is something that I see in the future, and it's something that I think needs to be consistently worked on. It's, I think the book is a great idea to look back at the history and look back at the real, not whitewashed history, but the true stories of what happened. Because you don't learn any of this in school. I had to learn it through people.
Anything from you?
For me, I'm just speaking off testimony from my friends that went to UF and UCF. Basically, everything's all integrated now, like to the point that everybody's meshed together, and they loved their experience over there to the point that one of my friends that came down from, came down from Tampa, he went to UF, but he wanted to go back to that UF lifestyle, and he's African American like myself, so I'm like, why would you want to go to, like, I always say UF is kind of like a swampland. I'm like, why would you want to go to, like, alligator?
You want to go play with the mosquito?
Yeah, but he's like, I love it over there. Like, the atmosphere is nice, people are nice, the whole, the whole background is nice. But he always informed me about, like, the west side of Florida. It's always like there's always a weird vibe over there, like a weird.
Well, northern Florida is totally different.
Correct.
And Frank, you're in Boca. Things happen here also, but northern Florida, Tallahassee was really an extension of the South.
Oh, there's no doubt. Yeah. And in the 60s, I'll tell you, Boca Raton was totally segregated. There were some segregated beaches, and it was not uncommon if black kids went to the beach that there would be people that would make it very uncomfortable for them. That was very common. And of course, in St. Augustine, it was famous for black people going to white beaches. And that's one of the things that I did in St. Augustine while I was there investigating a hanging in county jail. I was challenged to go in and go with black people to integrate the white beaches. And it was a very, very tense difficult thing. And the other thing, you didn't have the police investigating any violence. So, for instance, in 1964, Martin Luther King rented a house in St. Augustine, and his house was bombed. The gunshots were in the windows, and no one ever investigated it because the mayor and the police chief and the county sheriff, they all thought that he shouldn't be there. He was an outside agitator, and he didn't belong there, and he was trying to change the way of life that St. Augustine had for centuries, literally. And it's tragic when you don't have police taking any kind of stance in favor of law and order for everybody. And that's what happened in the 60s in St. Augustine. They would not investigate anything against blacks.
It's interesting you write about 2 alleged cases, the rape and the suicide, and these are just 2 that
Right.
you had the opportunity to go investigate, and with the outcomes in this book, well, it's so-called outcomes.
Right.
You can't even fathom
Yeah.
how many more cases there were than these 2.
Well, and I hate to say it,
Right.
I don't know how much it's changed today. I mean, unfortunately, and just, as a outstanding opinion, there's a lot of cases of what people love to call black on black crime that cops will never investigate because they chalk it up to gang violence when it can be 2 high school kids who, drowned in a river. It has nothing to do with that, and there's so
Correct.
many instances of that. Or where it's political or not, a police officer or someone, a law enforcement, will harm a person of color, and a lot of times it's not investigated. So I don't know how much better it's gotten.
Well, what I would say to that is that the police violence, what we've seen on videos and on television, are horrible things, but it's nothing compared to what it was in the 60s and before. You had lynchings, you had random killings just because whites and blacks were together, or you had people knifing and shooting demonstrators who were peaceful demonstrators and nonviolent demonstrators. So this doesn't mean there's not racism today. There is lots of racism today. It's horrible, but it's nowhere near what it was in the 60s. I mean, not even close.
Let me ask you a question. Why write the book now?
That's a good question. I said in my introduction that I have 5 children, and we're so far 10 grandchildren. And actually, my youngest graduated from the University of Florida last year. So it's a good variety. And anyway, my youngest, who talked to me about my experiences, felt I should write it down, and it'll be important for our family to know that somebody, or I guess the oldest person in the family today, did volunteerism for good without any financial interest. And so I decided that I should do that, and I put it down.
It's
Put
a
it down on paper.
spectacular book to read and see the history in it, and truly a first-hand account. You were there. These are all everything that you walked through and you saw.
Now, this picture on the cover of Martin Luther King, this dog is a police dog, and he was put waiting to go to a grand jury, and he was put in the back of a police car with a dog with no officer present. And let me tell you that those dogs had a mind of their own. In this particular case, Martin Luther King, I guess, calmed the dog down. But I had an experience when I went to investigate the hanging in the county jail. I had made a mistake, and I hadn't gone and asked the sheriff's permission. I just went to the jail and asked the officer on duty if I could go see the cell where the guy hung himself. And so he called the sheriff, and the sheriff said, give the guy 10 seconds to leave, and if he stays more than 10 seconds, the dog on him. And the officer whistled, and this German Shepherd ran out of the back and put his nose right on my private parts to the extent that I could feel the breath from his nose on me. It was scary. And I did what they said, and they told me where to go to see the sheriff, and I went to see him. But that, I would hate to be in a demonstration with dog attacking.
Wow, it's a spectacular book. How do people get it?
So it's on Amazon. In fact, Amazon has a deal. Now, I don't know how many days more you'll have it, but has a deal with a discount and free shipping. So you just go to Can't Get No Satisfaction on Amazon, and you'll see whatever deal they have. And also, it's on Kindle, and in addition, it's on askabooks.com. And then some people have asked for signed copies, and when they do, I send it to them.
It's a great book, and Teddy's doing a challenge right now where she has to read 10 pages a day of a nonfiction book. So another reason I was thinking of you last night, because the history in this, as much as you know how what we've learned in the history books, there were things and some legislation that was put into effect that was then taken out of effect for the business side of the plantations, which it's truly remarkable. Things I'd never even realized happened because somehow, like you said, they get whitewashed, and what you look at as an adult is different from what you learn when you're going through history class. It's almost better to go to school now as an adult and relearn the things that you realize. It's just amazing what happened.
Yeah, and the many schools taught in my time anyway that the Civil War was not about slavery, it was about states' rights, which is patently ridiculous. And the statutes of the Confederacy mentioned slavery 80 times as to the reason why they were seceding from the Union, and they don't mention state rights once. So, I mean, slavery was the reason for the Civil War.
Well, let me ask you your opinion. All these monuments that are now being taken down and under controversy, what do you think?
Okay, my opinion is not the same as most civil rights people. I have many friends that I admire who believe they all should be taken down. I don't think you should have the center of Richmond having the statue of Robert E. Lee. But I think if you have statues, historical statues, if you explain who the person was, so Stonewall Jackson was a general for the South that fought for slavery against the Union, and he is let's say an ex-hero for the South, but he's not a hero for the United States. If you explain that, I think having the statues up generates interest in the history of the country and does not venerate men who seceded from the Union and fought against our government. And it's similar in a way to statues in Germany that were pro-Nazi. The Germans left many of them in Berlin, for instance, but with an explanation of who these people were and what were the horrors that they did. So I think that if that were done, I think it would be better than tearing it down. The other thing is tearing something down illegally, I think, is a mistake, because you're always going to have people with different opinions about statues. And so whatever, that's a precedent for tearing down all statues. And I don't think, that's something that's consistent with what our country stands for.
Well, the funny thing is the United States is composed of independent states. And the Union is one, the federal government is one, but the states are states. So you got to look at where these monuments are placed. And the time of thinking was they lost the war, but they're not going to lose the battle, and they put them up there. The problem isn't about should they be in a museum or they shouldn't be up at all. The problem is you're taking it down under anger. I think you're taking it down under hostilities because you're not learning from our history. We're not reading books like Can't Get No Satisfaction and learning from them. So what's creating now is we're creating a cesspool of anger. And I look at our young kids today, and they got to make decisions on people. I mean, I remember the Black Panthers. Listen, I grew up in the South Bronx. In the South Bronx, there was murders, there were hangings, there was stuff among my Latino brothers, my black brothers, everybody. And no cop came down. No cop came down at all. I'll still remember the time that my uncles took down a hanging that happened in the back courtyard of our house. No cop came. An ambulance came. No cops. Wow. Okay? And I grew up on this stuff. My mother moved 17 times in New York to get away from elements. The problem is we don't learn from history. We don't. Look at Napoleon. He didn't learn either. Dummy. And the bottom is if we don't change from what we've done in the past, then we're going to make it really tough on ourselves in the future. Really simple. And the math is 1 and 1 is always 2.
You got to read this book because not often do I read nonfiction because, right, we live life right now. But this book, it's amazing. It gives you the information. It's not just an opinion book. You lived it. You talk about your experiences and the hanging, the rape, the suicide, all of this, and what it was like being a white kid in law school coming down to the South. And people don't think, Boca, we got our issues too here, and there are things that are still issues in Boca, and people hide behind it and they bury their head, and it still exists here. Unfortunately, it still exists in our communities that we live in right now. So Frank, thank you so much for sharing this with us. I really, really appreciate it. This book is amazing, so timely. I'm glad your son had you write it.
Thank you, Dawn. I really appreciate those words.
It was a pleasure. You can get this, Can't Get No Satisfaction by Franklin Ryder, A Quest for Racial Equality in Northern Florida in 1965. Check it out on Amazon. See the deals they've got going. It's not a long book, but it is packed with information and his history. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Really amazing. I called Aaron last night and he goes, Mom, you're asking me a lot of details. I just graduated law school. I go, you know what? You want to read this book? He said, leave it for me, but it's a great book.
I wanted to ask the kids, what do you do when you find out something about your family, the past, that you're not proud of? Because we live in today's age. And I'll lead it off. Santori is spelled with a Y. I think we talked about this, right? Did I ever tell you this story? It used to be spelled with an I. And 2 of my great-great-great-great-great-grandfathers, they were in they were in the slavery business. They used to sell slavery in the Caribbean. And one brother decided he wasn't going to do it anymore. And the other brother says, you have to do it. This is what we do for a living. The United States is one of the most powerful countries in the world because we took advantage of labor, and we had numbers, and we did things that nobody else could do. And he supplied a lot of slaves, from what I was told, into the United States and the Caribbean. And the brother left the family, and he changed the name from I, Santori, to a Y. And I learned this story when I went to Puerto Rico. I could not believe it. I still can't find any evidence of it, but it was handed down by uncles of uncles of uncles. And not too proud of that moment,
Isn't there a saying, don't be judged by the sins of our fathers?
Yeah.
But not proud. No. When I grew up, there were black kids, white kids, green kids, everything around me. I didn't even know the difference.
I gotta tell you, this book, you'll be proud of what he stood for in the 60s coming down and what he faced, and being a white Jewish kid from New York coming down into the throes of Tallahassee, and what you had to do, and walking this walk by choice. Didn't have to do this, which
and I think Teddy touched on a real sensitive, it's really sensitive to have these conversations, but I think she's right. It isn't by the numbers of bad stuff that happened back then to compare to today. There should be less. It shouldn't be more. It should be less because at least that means that we're getting a little smarter. But I think a lot of what's going on today hasn't changed. I think there's brutality among all. I always use an example. I lost a bicycle when I was 6 or 8. They stole my bike. 6 Latino brothers stole my bike. 6 of them. And they took it. Now, do I think that every Latino is a thief? No. Do I think every black man, black woman is a thief? No, absolutely not. I think that in the individual, right there, that spot, I should never have been down in Undercliff Avenue. My mother says, don't go down there. Don't take your chopper bike because it was brand new.
Man, your mother had a handful
And they
with
took
you.
it. And they
Right?
took it.
Jeez.
I had a chopper bike. You know what a chopper bike is?
The ones that look like
Little wheel in the front?
Yeah, no, I wanted one.
10 speed.
I had my bike sold, and it was a nice
I
X
think
Games bike.
my bike came off a truck. Might have been yours.
It probably wasn't. No, it wasn't, because I was one of those kids with like those BMX with pegs.
Yeah, well, you know what I
Yeah.
told my mother? You know what? My mother looked at me and I said, Mom, you know why they stole my bike? Because that bike was stolen. My mother bought that bike for $25. Now, you got to tell me a chopper bike cost $25? She says, it wasn't stolen. I said, yes. And my brother came in and he told my mom, karma is a B-I-T-C-H. And that's why they stole that bike. And I will never forget that story for the rest of my life. Don't take what's not yours. And if they give you a stolen something, just give it right back.
I got to tell you, Freddie, I think you should write your book. But this is a legacy for his family. Your stories, however you write it, with your humor and everything, is a legacy for your grandson.
Well, I'm going to have Juji call in from Puerto Rico so that you guys have a point of reference. Juji was with me when they stole our bikes.
I believe you.
And all the stories that we grew up on, it was going to make your hair turn upside down because you're going to say, you what? And we were young. We didn't see black, white, green. They didn't make any difference to us. We have friends, and our friends have friends. And we played in the street, and we took care of each other. Now, when the gangs came along, the Ghetto Brothers and them guys, that was tough growing up in that circle of friends.
Yeah, I would
but
think
they were every nationality. The black spades were black, and the Ghetto Brothers were Spanish, and there were wars. They were wars over turf. Not over skin.
Over turf. Let's take a commercial break. Is Lenny taking us out?
I don't know, Lenny. What do you got for us?
Gubba rum. If you buy Gubba rum, we can help your business. If you buy Gubba rum from a bar or local liquor store, restaurant, we will do a promotional commercial for you here at Brooklyn Cafe TV. So call us at 888-994-4995, and we'll put you on the air. You'll be seen by lots of people, thousands. Thank you.
Introducing Black Tie Liquors, your one-stop shop for wine and spirit needs. Whether you're looking for an ice-cold pack of summer brews or just to grab your favorite bottle of Scotch whiskey, Black Tie Liquors has you covered. Come choose from a wide selection of beers, wines, spirits, or liqueurs. Or if you're in the mood, feel free to grab one of our fresh cigars. Stop by Black Tie Liquors today, located on 5970 South Jog Road, Lake Worth, Florida. Or give them a call at 561-968-0988.
Welcome to your vacation staycation. And what better way to kick back than to blend up a sweet pina colada, a smooth mojito, or just a nice stiff rum and coke. If you want true relaxation and enjoyment, then you want Gubba Rum. Gubba Rum is a unique rum infusion. Gubba Silver Rum is infused with real shredded coconut, and Gubba Rum Gold is infused with real shredded vanilla bean. Both are made with certified organic ingredients. Each infused Gubba Rum is 35% ABV, 70 proof, and as we say in Boston, wicked smooth. So if you're looking for the best combination of taste, smoothness, quality, and price, your clear choice is Gubba Rum. If you want that wicked smooth taste for yourself or your vacation staycation, visit GubbaRum.com to find your closest liquor store that carries Gubba Rum Gold and Gubba Rum Silver. Gubba Rum, it's wicked smooth.
Healing Moments Wellness Boutique specializes in integrating scientific and ancient therapies to relieve physical, emotional, and psychological distress. Through the power of touch, coaching, and meditation, clients experience pain relief, relaxation, healing, and detoxification. Contact Healing Moments Wellness Boutique at 561-931-2187 and experience Boca Raton's Healing Haven. Enjoy the benefits of an individualized treatment plan to help find your feelings of peace, complete balance, and wellness. Call Healing Moments today, 561-931-2187, and be rejuvenated.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
Oh, I get to ring the bell. Exciting.
And you're back at the Brooklyn Cafe Show. It was really interesting. So this is interesting. We didn't even talk about it. So the Michigan bar was given, was it Michigan's or Indiana's bar was given yesterday? Indiana bar was going online. It was all
Now, how
hacked.
can you do an online exam?
Michigan's bar exam was yesterday. They all took the bar. Hackers got in. It was all taken down. Now, I don't know whether the scores stay relevant. I have no idea what it is. You know, Indiana's using the same software. The bar is giving Florida next month at home.
I'm so not
online.
surprised.
I was just going to ask you, how in the world you think you're going to get away with doing an exam like that and not get hacked? I'll give
They
you an
got hacked.
example, though. I'll tell you one thing, Michigan bar examiners, whoever you are, call GEO. GEO has this system that I think the FBI is using. I know NASA's using it. It's ridiculous. You can't break into it.
Interesting. So the Indiana Supreme Court just announced that it'll be open book email instead of testing software. So they're going to send you the test.
And then you can open
email.
book.
Open book bar.
So why even do it?
Indiana, and then you send it back.
Oh.
So it is non-hackable. Do you believe this?
Yes,
This
it's
is
going to
what's
be an
going
open
on.
book. So you're going to be an attorney. You guys could be an attorney.
Yeah.
Just say, oh,
I
I'm
could.
in.
Lots of
I could
lawyers
just go
now.
take the bar exam and buy the
Why
books.
take it?
So it's now an open book exam in Indiana.
How much does it cost to take the bar? Think about this.
$700,
Think about that question.
Well, which the
A lot
test
cheaper than
itself
law
or your
school.
whole law school career?
The test.
The test, I think, is $750.
Okay, I'm going to make you a deal. For $1,000, I'll let you be an attorney.
Yeah,
No
'cause
test.
I don't
That's all they
think
want is the
you-
money. You know that, right?
Yeah. I
Who
don't
does
think you
an
have to have a
open
law
book
degree to take the
test?
I think you might be right.
I mean,
bar. Yeah.
think about that.
They don't do that for the SAT, I tell you that.
Can they do it for being a doctor? Open book
Oh, that's
test.
another one,
For
yeah,
being
no.
a doctor, you pass.
Lot
Can
of
they do
class.
that for doctors?
Isn't that interesting? Well, all the tests for doctors have been postponed. The boards, part 1, part 2, all these things. You go to take them, and then you get an email that day. Oh, been postponed. There's too many people in the testing center. Postponed again. I mean, this is bless you.
What the hell was
That
that?
was a sneeze.
You need a doctor.
Too many things. I mean, this is crazy, right? What's going on? Yeah.
That's just
I don't know how they
ridiculous.
thought they weren't going to be hacked.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. I was about to say, they're going to get hacked.
This whole situation, I mean, the platforms that we get to use are spectacular, but we're doing this for other purposes. But to take your legal career exam or your to be a doctor and all of these things and to get hacked, first of all, why do people do mean things? That's the whole other side of us. Why can't people just be nice to each other? Why do you have to hack an exam? Why can't you just leave it alone and let people be?
Did you see LinkedIn got hacked?
Yeah.
I'm not ignoring you. I'm giving you.
Why?
I'm
Why
telling
can't
you
people
why.
just be
I'm
nice to each other?
I'm trying to tell you why.
Why?
LinkedIn got hacked. 6,000 accounts had to be 86, including ours. Got hacked, right?
Was that LinkedIn or that was Twitter?
That was
Link-
Twitter. You're right.
Is that what happened to our Twitter account?
Yes, our Twitter account got hacked and it got demolished, right? That means you have to open up a new one if you want to be on there, right?
Yeah.
So that means that they get to say, open up a new account. So now they're going to add 6,000, 8,000, 10,000. And you know that they are telling you how they protected Twitter. It's a safety thing. Today, right now, in Congress, the top 4 companies, Facebook owner, Apple owner, all of them are in Congress talking about how they influence everything in America.
It's true.
You believe that?
Yeah.
100%.
Yesterday on the news, there was this company that did the mopeds in New York City, all over the country. New York City, #1 in the country in accidents. So Channel 12 went on, Channel 6 went on, Channel 2 went on, Channel 2, the one to turn to, went on there, and they criticized it. You know what happened today? They shut it down. They shut that company down. And they're saying they shut it down because a guy ran into a pole in New York and died. Yeah, but what about the other 400 cases where the guy ran into a pole and died? They waited until Channel 2 says shut it down. So the news controls this country.
Yes.
Oh, 100%.
100%.
When was the last
Mass
time you heard
media.
about the Black Lives Matters protests? Because they're still going
Correct.
on and they're still going strong. but
Correct.
The media
You know
doesn't care
why?
about
You
it
know why
anymore.
the media is pulling away from it? Why do you think that the
It's
Black
money.
Lives Matter, the media is
It's
pulling away?
money. It's money,
Because
and
we're about 99 days from an election.
yeah, we need a new catalyst.
You
The
think
p-
that's what it is?
The population needs a
It
new
has nothing to do with
catalyst.
coronavirus going out of control and people protesting in the streets and they're.
But they're not filming the
No,
protesting
I
at
think
all.
it's because we're 99 or 98 days away from a presidential election.
Oh yeah, 98.
Well,
we're
I
like
heard Channel
97.
2 can't stand Trump, so they criticize him more today about everything he says.
I mean, some people like him, some people don't. Whatever it is, this is all politically based, except
Correct.
us.
Did you
That's
notice? Did you guys notice that while they were covering the Black Lives Matter protest, there was nothing on coronavirus, which is when everything started opening up, which is what a lot of media wants because it opened up the economy again, and the
Correct.
economy shot up how much? They
The-
completely control everything.
They are the ventriloquist of the society.
controls the
right
media?
I
now.
like that.
Nice
They
Slick.
Who controls
definitely
them?
are.
Vinny, you heard what Slick said? The ventriloquist
The media.
of society.
Yes.
It's the media.
These are like slick.
We should do a banner or something like that because
They-
it's true.
It is.
The media controls everything we think, everything we say, everything we buy. Did you see that LeBron James' son, he went viral by criticizing his father because he says, yeah, I'm 6'8", I'm LeBron James, I'm the king. And the son is like, and what does that leave me? Who am I? Because he's like a little short guy.
Yeah.
And it was funny. He was rapping with his
Oh
friend of his.
yeah, I think he was on talking about like another player that he likes
That's
besides
right.
LeBron. Yeah.
And that went viral when they put it on the news.
Correct.
Not before.
It's interesting.
Big news.
It'd be really nice to see some good things go viral.
Like
Speaking
what?
of good things, today is Tracy's birthday from Healing Moments. So happy
Hey.
birthday, Tracy.
Ring the bell.
Big Jenna.
Birthday.
Happy birthday.
We're
How
running
old
out
is
of
she,
her
21?
water. She's 22, I believe.
I gotta ask you a question. The cap on my water bottle cracked. Does that make it bad?
No, it just means you need a new cap.
Yeah.
How'd you crack it?
If I knew that, I would tell you.
It was cracked what was on the bottle?
I think you gave me a cracked cap, and it leaked everywhere.
I doubt it. Probably was in your car, rolled over, and it hit something.
That's
It's
what I
probably
think.
gonna
That's
hit
what
off
I
the
think.
seat.
That's a high possibility on that. Yeah.
What's it gonna hit in my car?
I
Yeah,
don't know.
bag.
It
Hey,
hit
it fell off
something
the
and the
seat.
crack. I wouldn't think Dawn would give you a cracked cap.
She gave me a cracked cap.
I don't think so.
I don't think she'll give you a cracked cap.
They brought it. They took him. They filled him. They brought him back. Teddy is our witness.
Yep.
Nothing was cracked.
Nobody else has a cracked cap, right?
Nope.
Nobody else's car got drenched, right? Except me.
It
Yeah.
felt,
And
it-
then if I tell you that story, you're never gonna believe me.
You just hit a sharp right turn or a left turn.
It hit the dad bag.
Yeah, maybe. It was the
Dad bag's a solid mass.
Now, have you heard of the Ma bag?
I
Oh, you see
heard
what's
Yeah.
out there.
Dawn's bag is heavier than mine.
Do you know what's in my bag now? I've got my computer. I've got my book from promo stuff, with my flash drive on it. I've got this book. I've got papers with numbers. Doing this virtually is fantastic, but it takes a lot more work on my end. Now to give people the appropriate codes, to give the girls the lower thirds, the pieces to go. It's a lot of work running a production house, I got to tell you.
I tell you, I was laughing the other day, that Monday when I was not feeling well, Dawn was running around here. I didn't even see you. I think I saw you at the very end when I was leaving. She went from one place to another to another. I was dying. It was so funny to watch.
You look the amount of what things that come out of the studio and the amount of work it is. It's fantastic that we get to do it, but there's a lot of moving parts all at once.
Yep.
Always.
And then you want to get bigger, right?
Because you know what? The traditional media, we just talked about what it is. We're not that. We get to share stories. We get to give a voice to those that feel they don't have one. We get to share. I spoke to someone today. She wrote a book on teachers' mental health. Amazing that it had just come out. We're going to be interviewing her next week on what it's like to be a teacher. She's a 4th grade teacher in Colorado, and school goes back in session next week.
Martin
Wow.
County elected not to
virtual.
postpone. They're going to open on the 21st.
Yikes.
Did you guys see the pictures of the school where they were installing like plexiglass, 3-wall plexiglass on the students' desks?
Really?
Do you
Yeah.
know that when I said that, Teddy, they laughed at me.
But they really
Because
do
no one
it.
thought
Now
that
they're
they were
doing
actually going to have to do it.
Yeah,
What do you think the expense is to do that?
that's a lot.
Doing.
Less than they're
You
getting
know
for just
something,
keeping the
Dawn?
kids in
Correct.
school.
I don't want to hear it. They're printing money like it's going out of style.
I want to ask you about that. What happened with the stimulus package? Did it pass? Did it not?
No, it's still being. They are so far apart. They have 1.6 trillion versus 1.2 trillion. The Republicans are at 1.2. The Democrats want to give everybody the $1,200 again, and 200 Democrats $600 on your unemployment. The Republicans want $200 because they say, if I give you $600, that's $2,400 a month. Why are you gonna go back to work?
It's too much money on the table. Nobody's really
Incentive.
taking it
There's
through.
no incentive to go back to work.
So
Seriously.
I have a feeling it's gonna meet 400,
I think that
Maybe.
somewhere in the middle.
I think so.
Yeah.
But you know what? Get it done already. You know, I don't understand why it takes so much time.
It's a lot of conversation to be
Yep.
had.
A lot
And
of
because we're only days
personalities.
from an election.
A lot of personalities. You know.
I think
You know, we
Slick
can
should
have
run
the
for
election
Yeah.
right now. Today, we can have the election. Does it really make a difference who's the president of the United States today?
Yeah,
It
I
kinda
don't think
does
it
for
would
them.
Change. If you had the election today, would your vote change between today and November? On
Uh,
presidential.
No.
Could anybody make a
I don't
mistake?
think
Could
so,
anybody do
no.
something wrong? Biden make a mistake? Trump make another mistake? That they
No, I think
Change
I
your
heard
opinion?
both out of both of them. Like
I
the
heard
words
enough out
that-
of
yeah,
both of them, and I wish they would both shut up. But the
Agreed.
bottom line here is it really makes a difference. If Biden wins today, what's going to happen? He's going to say, oh, now we're going to change the country around. Is he? Is he? I learned yesterday, and this is a sad fact, 90% of corona death, and I'm not talking about the flake numbers, I'm talking about the real numbers, 60 and under, 90% are Hispanic.
Wow.
How do you like me to wake
and
up to that?
African American
No.
or Hispanic?
No, 90%, 60 and under.
Oh.
The number one death is among blacks because they go 40, 50, 60, 70. But on the 60, number one is Hispanics for some reason that are dying today.
Interesting.
Okay? Now, why is that?
Teddy?
There's no more ICU beds.
Yes,
I
anything?
can't say anything
I
without
can't
getting
say,
too
yeah.
political.
There's no ICU beds. There's no, so I mean, to cut to the chase. So Biden
I think a
wins.
lot of it, from what I've been told, are the generational families that live together.
Yes,
And
because
culturally,
14 Ricans fit in a car.
it's just different. You know, you and I used to tease about it. In Hispanics, you would give your elderly a sandwich and a TV, and you keep them home
And
with
15,
the children and the grandchildren, and mom and dad, and a partridge in a pear
15
tree.
uncles and nephews all cram into an apartment.
In our religion, at least where I happen to live, I'll speak for me. If you have an aging parent, you put them in an adult care facility where they can be taken care of. They
You
don't
put 'em
live
where?
home.
What am I?
An adult care facility.
Adult, y'all like that.
A home?
An adult care
An
facility.
adult
nursing
care
home?
facility.
Do you know? I didn't know what that was until I came here.
I know you didn't, but it's just so the houses aren't. You don't have
Too much-
kids
too
and
much
grandchildren
crowd.
and mom
Yeah.
and dad, and you don't have that many generations that can share any virus living under one roof.
Correct.
It's just a different demographic, and they've talked about this in the Bronx.
It's-
How many
yes.
different generations live? I mean, in
Who-
an apartment.
Who's the one that told me that living in the Bronx because you live in Riverdale was you, right?
That was me.
I was laughing about that last
I
night
didn't
at
know about
midnight.
Riverdale, but look, even your sister, they got 3 generations in an apartment.
Yes, they do. And soon to be a fourth because I think somebody's moving in with them because they can't afford the rent or wherever they're
Right,
at.
so it's your sister, their kids, the baby, who's not a baby anymore, but got
All
3
of them are in
generations
there.
in what, a small apartment.
Yeah, and the problem is that things are tight. And New York, actually, you see they had launched 2 investigations. They had a concert somewhere, in the Hamptons. They had a concert in the Hamptons.
Oh yeah.
And the governor wants to know immediately who put that together.
Yeah, it was chain smokers.
chain smokers.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I'm
heard
gonna tell
about
you
it.
They
something.
risked their lives for
If
chain
you
smokers.
put that together, run, because they're looking for you. You're gonna serve federal time.
Yeah.
You just got to be smart. I heard the residency program in Gainesville, they change over July 1st. They had a going away party and a welcome party for the new residents July 1st. You know what happened? 17 people in the anesthesiology department tested positive.
I wonder why.
But
Yeah.
think about this. You're talking about a Mecca hospital, Shands Hospital, University of Florida. In the anesthesia department, they're intubating people who can't breathe, and they have a party with no mask. I mean, some of this doesn't make any sense.
The whole world doesn't make any sense. Did you see in San Diego, California, they had a pool concert, a beach concert. There must have been 12,000 people out there, all on top of each other. They all got sick. Oh, you wonder why?
Teddy
Because
for
it doesn't-
president. Maybe Teddy should
You
be
know,
your VP.
I was gonna say, why don't we just have the elections today? Get rid of the two clowns, get rid of both of them, and just pick two random, a woman and a man, right? And put them in place because nothing's gonna happen anyway.
I gotta tell you, you make a lot she makes even on
Yeah.
your vacation planning than a lot of people do just for a
Thank
day
you.
out. Truly, you actually think it through all
Yeah.
of it. She
Well,
thinks through it all.
We had that one camping trip that freaked me out that thankfully I didn't go on, and they had a DJ who said, hey, we're not going to do anything, but I may happen to have a huge party bus, and I may have happened to put my DJ equipment on it and rent out a huge camping area, and I may keep it open so that if anybody wants to camp there, I'm not going to say anything and I'll blast music. And a bunch of my friends went, and thankfully me and my close friends said that's not a good idea, and every single one of them got sick. Some of them were
Oh,
in the
so now
hospital.
maybe he's responsible.
He
right?
said
Yeah,
may
but since he
have
didn't, it wasn't a planned thing from what I know. He was just like, hey, just putting it out there. He wasn't saying everyone come. He wasn't selling tickets. He was just saying, if you're in the area, I'm going to be doing this. So I don't think he can be held responsible.
No,
Well,
I
he
got a
can't
real.
because it comes to choice.
But he is.
These people chose to go. You chose not to.
Well, I got
Yeah.
a real quick question. If you know somebody who's sick, currently test positive, and that person's running around, hanging out with people and telling people, no, I'm negative on that, but they know they're positive, and you find out about it, what do you do?
I'll have to check them, so they'll have to stay inside, or either like I don't know the proper precautions, but like you really, you are the fact of like this whole situation.
But what do you
should
do? You know that person
Yeah,
is
it-
positive. If she's hanging out, he's hanging out with people, putting his arm in.
I wouldn't know the right precaution is like telling the right proper like I
You
don't
wouldn't know
know.
what to
I
do.
wouldn't know to be
Okay.
honest with you, but I would
Well-
like you have to stay. I would have to tell the person you have to stay inside. Like,
Can I ask a question of, because this is something that my dad told me, and it put things in perspective, I think, for like his type of generation. In his generation, it was really big. AIDS was a huge thing, right? HIV, AIDS.
Yeah.
And you have to legally tell someone if you're going to be intimate with them
Yes.
that you are positive for it. What if you knew someone who you knew was positive and had it and was going around fooling around and wasn't telling people?
And they had,
it's
that
the
did
same
happen,
thing.
Teddy, and people went to jail.
Exactly. So
Yes.
why are people not going to jail for doing that same thing for
So
COVID?
do you call the authorities?
Yeah, I
you
would.
call who do you call? First of all,
yeah,
who do
I
you
wouldn't-
call?
I wouldn't know who to call.
At this point, I don't believe it is illegal.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So even if you call the cops, they're going to say
Okay.
they really shouldn't be doing that, but it's not illegal to go
Correct.
outside having tested positive.
So let me
To the best of
hypothetical.
my knowledge.
If I have it, and I know I have it, and you get sick and die, am I up for murder?
Technically, no, because it can't be proven that you're the one who gave it to me. Again, to the best of my knowledge, I'm not a lawyer.
Interesting.
I'm gonna tell you something. It's gonna get real.
Yep.
It's gonna
August
get
is
real.
right around the corner. So
And the bottom line here is everybody gonna get sick, and those that think that they don't, you're not responsible, you don't have to. Around me, you have to. But the question I have is, are you legally bound by getting people sick, just like HIV?
Interesting. More to come. We have anything going on this afternoon? Yes, Sarah.
I got Sarah tonight from 6 to 8 on WNN 1470 AM 95.3 FM.
Check out Jacob's Deli. We got to maybe do a road trip, maybe tomorrow. We
correct.
got Business Kitchen.
Me and
with-
Vinny.
He better have some room for us.
Me and
'cause he's
Vinny.
busy.
Me
You and Vinny, I'm going to let everyone know what a Knish is. We're
You
gonna
and Vinny
do some
always
taste
doing the
testing.
stuff.
So
what are you
excited.
talking about? Okay, it can be me, Vinny, and Lenny.
You, Vinny, and Lenny.
Yeah, me, Vinny, Lenny.
I missed it.
It has a ring
So
to
they
it.
add one more. Now that the
Okay,
Three
me,
Stooges-
me,
I wasn't
Vinny,
gonna say
Lenny, me, Vinny, Lenny, Fritz.
Now they got 4. Fritz.
Fritz.
It's
Fritz.
going to be the
Bird.
Scooby-Doo gang soon.
That's your new name.
Fritz.
Fritz. You
Fritz
like it?
isn't your name? That's
No,
peace.
Fritz was like I always called him Fritz.
Called that before. That's a cool name.
Yeah, I called him the first day. Fritz.
I'm never
It's
gonna
Fritz.
remember Fritz.
He's not
Fritz?
gonna remember Fritz, but I will. I will. Don't worry.
Okay. What's his
Vinny's
face?
like, scratching
What's his
head.
face?
What's his face?
4. So it'll be me, Lenny, Vinny, and
More to
Fritz.
come. Check it out. Thank you all for joining us. Go to Amazon. Check out this book, Can't Get No Satisfaction. A spectacular book. If part of your challenge for the summer reading of a nonfiction book, small book, but I got to tell you, it is jam-packed with pictures and information. It's a good perspective on looking back at history through the eyes of someone who's been there. Have a great day, everyone.
Hold on. Who has a show tomorrow? What shows we got lined up tomorrow? Anybody know?
Thursday.
Who's on Thursday?
We have Jay Harmon is on at 2:30. Oh no, Amy Reshevsky's gonna be on tomorrow.
Amy has a brand new debut show.
We've got Business Kitchen tomorrow at 11 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Fuego at 11:30.
I believe that's it.
Huh? Yeah, Business Kitchen, yeah. Is that it?
No.
Oh, we have, if Mia comes in, Mia's Hollywood Headlines is supposed to start
Oh,
tomorrow.
She's supposed to start tomorrow. Check it out. Another debut tomorrow.
All right, we're going to check it out. Have a great day, everyone. Be safe. Be kind to each other. Wear your mask. What's our word of the week, Val?
She said,
Huh.
Word of the week is huh.
Word of the week is huh.
Huh?
Clean your ears.
Val, is that huh?
We'll see you tomorrow, 9 a.m. drive time. Have a great day.
And don't be late.
Bye-bye.
Well, that's about it for today. Even though the show is over, the Brooklyn Cafe is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun every day from 12 to 2. If you missed some of the laughs from today, Dawn and Freddie S will bring more good cheer next time. You can follow the Brooklyn Cafe on Facebook at the Brooklyn Cafe TV to rewatch every minute of the show. Well, see you next time.
In the cold and sleepless nights, I wait for you to bring me back to life. In my electric eyes, it doesn't mean that time can pick in every single breath. I want to unfreeze my heart and fly away. That's why I wanna save it. Your moons and craters. Open up my eyes, waterfalls of ice, sweeping me away like an avalanche. Helpless as I fall, the words can't say it all, sweeping me away like an avalanche, like an avalanche. I listen for a sound, waiting deep inside my maze of sweeping threads and colors. Just a ray of light bathing me